a hot favorite apparently. Not only get a permanent residency, there are remote options in that country, and then also it's a safe jurisdiction. So first, let's talk about the ease aspect of it, right? All right, so I wanted to discuss three of the most popular residencies, right? Direct residencies that you can obtain for the zero tax situation. A lot of people earn a lot of money, and they earn money from global sources, whether it's online or through multiple channels. They don't necessarily find value in their home country, just paying 50% tax for nothing, and they're looking to save on that 50%. So they are looking at zero tax solutions. There are three top choices that I see my clients go for, and we help with all three options. So it's really depending upon where you come from, what your objective is. I wanted to discuss some very important comparisons in terms of scrutiny on these jurisdictions, ease of getting residency permits, right? You strike the company, that's okay, but then you want a quick residency permit to live in that country, to utilize that jurisdiction. So the ease is important, so I'm going to discuss that. Third is the reliance on a local agent versus you being in control, right? Fourth is English speaking jurisdiction. That's very important because a lot of people, when they're doing business, they want to have control over their taxes. They don't want to Tom, Dick, and Harry, a local agent, trying to manage something, because it's not just about that jurisdiction or expertise in that jurisdiction. You have your home country to satisfy. You don't want to trigger any non-compliance in your home country. So that makes English very important language for a lot of people. Most of the viewers on my channel, of course, have English as the first language. So this is primarily very important comparison. And then finally, the 0 to 9%. What does that mean? 0 to 3%, 0 to 9%. Is it sustainable? Is it going to stop? Because a lot of countries are cracking down on zero tax jurisdictions. So these they impact each one differently. And I wanted to discuss the future projection for the 0% tax. Is that sustainable? Now, before we start, I have a quick favor to ask you. I would really appreciate if you could please check your subscription. It helps me bring you this content. It really helps me bring any breaking news on time, so you're updated on all the changes. It helps boost this channel. It helps us grow. I'll be really thankful if you could check and turn on your subscription. Now let's deep dive into it. The three countries that I'm going to focus on, and these are the top choices that I see my clients always go for, and that is Oman, right? Second is UAE Golden Visa, or the UAE through company formation. The most popular choice is UAE company formation. The third one that I wanted to compare this with is Mauritius as well, because that's a hot favorite apparently. Not only get a permanent residency, there are remote options in that country, and then also it's a safe jurisdiction. So first, let's talk about the ease aspect of it, right? All three are easy. You initially form a company, right? It could be a corporation, it could be a regular company. It all depends upon what's your complexity, how much you're earning, and that kind of stuff. So once you form the company, that's done by our specialist team, separate team that focuses on company formation. Once that is established, the second thing is then obtaining a residency permit through the company formation. Now, in terms of speed, Oman, 15-20 days with us. That's the time frame it takes to run the two processes in parallel. We collect your documents for the residency ahead of time in parallel to starting your corporation, establishing or registering your company. And then in 15 to 20 days, this whole process is managed. You have your electronic visa issued. Once you have the electronic visa, you travel to Oman or to UAE. And then once you land, you do the medical checkup, and then you submit that to the authority, and then in a few days you get your physical residency card. Pretty straightforward. In Mauritius, there's one option which is premium, which is 100% remote. The drawback is that it has obviously a year length validity, so you're going to renew this permit more number of times. The other option is through GBC company formation. Now, if you get that, that's a permanent residency. It takes 3 months, so not as fast as Oman or UAE, but nonetheless, 3 is not bad. And there's some unique advantages why it would make sense to wait for the 3 months and then get a better solution in place. Now, let's talk about a reliance on a local agent. Now, Mauritius, the biggest difference between those two, which is Oman and Dubai or UAE and Mauritius, is that Mauritius is a 100% English speaking jurisdiction. How that really impacts is in Oman or Dubai, you're relying on a local agent. In case of UAE, it's an Emirati or local Emirati company. Only they can deal with tax authorities. So I'm not saying you're held hostage, but you're relying upon them. You're relying on internal language being Arabic to deal and manage things. So you need support. You need 100% support. You need to rely on that agent. Of course, they're going to talk in English with you, but when it comes to facing the bureaucracy, you are 100% dependent upon them to deal and do your thing behind the scenes. They'll come and take the input, give you the output, but then everything is completely controlled by this local agent, not only in terms of registering the company and managing the company and managing company affairs operations, and we'll obviously help you as much as it's possible, but eventually they're the ones dealing and interfacing with the authorities. Same thing is with the tax situation where you're explaining the stuff, they're going to ask you questions, but eventually it all depends upon them going and actually managing the filing for you. So that is what happens with Oman and UAE. When you compare and contrast this with Mauritius, there's a separate team and there's a tax accountant assigned to you, typically year over year, 2-year period, 3-year period, whatever you want support for. That professional obviously speaks with you in English, completely certified and CPA certified in English. They're dealing with the authorities. You can go along with them. You can deal with the authorities if needed. You're not required, but then you understand the game. It's all happening in English. Your company operations to your tax, everything is well understood, both at the agent level who speaks in good English, but also at the authority or the bureaucracy level. So if you want to examine or cross-examine your stuff, then of course it's all going to be in English. So the ease and the speed, I would say ease, all three are equal. Speed, Mauritius 3 months, the other two month and a half, 25-30 days, you complete the process, you land in the country. So overall, you're looking at, realistically speaking, month and a half in those two cases. Reliance on the local agent or efficiency wise, I would 100% give this to Mauritius. English speaking, Mauritius. Scrutiny wise, now people think Panama Papers is the only blacklisted or the gray listed or sort of known jurisdiction for any of these kind of things. It's not true. That's not the only jurisdiction. When it comes to avoiding taxes legally, if the authorities want to close, if your home country wants to closely scrutinize, then of course they're closely looking at UAE. Now, you're not going to do anything wrong, you're going to follow things by the book. But when it comes to auditing, obviously they have a special eye for Dubai because it's just so well known for the whole zero tax situation. And now Dubai is shifting towards that 9%. Of course, it has shifted for majority of the business. You're anyways looking at, or a lot of business, I should say, you're anyways looking at the 9% bracket. But let's say somehow or your business really falls under a complete 0% situation, that's only in place until 2030. After that, the good chances they're going to shift to everyone over to the 9%. We got to wait and watch what happens, after 5 years. But then you're floating between 0 to 9%. Your home country is watching. The moment it's a 0%, the home country is obviously going to want to know all the details. So you're facing that with UAE. Oman is lesser known, right? So it has less chaos, less noise, less spotlights. Oman, you're looking from a tax perspective, you're looking at the 3%. For corporate taxes, and then you're looking at 5% VAT that you're going to pay. So total, you're looking at 8% in Oman versus 0 to 9% in Dubai or UAE. When it comes to Mauritius, this is one of the most stable jurisdictions from past quite some time. So it's not crazy, it's not blowing up, it's not making changes. It's always been 0 to 3% for the GBC style. Authorities haven't really closely looked at that as much, right? Because it has been historically baked in. It has been a stable offering for quite some time. You haven't heard about this or any crackdown, any blow up in the news. So it's a stable product. It's a 0 to 3%. Authorities, home country authorities, when they look at jurisdictions like Mauritius, UAE, Oman, I personally feel, and this is no tax, legal, or finance advice, but I personally feel Dubai or UAE creates more of a buzz, attracts more spotlights. But when it comes to Oman or Mauritius, these are under the radar jurisdictions. The most under the radar jurisdiction, I would say, is Mauritius. So I would definitely give that an edge. 0 to 3% is obviously lower than 0 to 9%. So the direction UAE eventually tends to go, if you're looking for a long-term solution, then of course capping at 3% is always better than capping at 9%. Now there are strategies in and this is all corporate stuff, okay? At a personal level, if you're trying to reduce your taxes to 0, there is an opportunity with Mauritius. As a business owner, you have flexibility to draw income, let's call it dividends, at 0% in Mauritius. The other major benefit of Mauritius is that if you can structure your outside affairs, you don't bring in the money in Mauritius, then that setup would be looked at as a territorial setup. Of course, there's more to it. This has to be legally and properly structured. And if you are interested in striking either Oman or UAE or Mauritius, we have teams that provide specialized support in each of these jurisdictions. You can always click the link, book a call. We can have a thorough discussion on which residency and tax residency makes most sense in your situation, and then accordingly get you started with one or more of these options. Now, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and catch you in the next one.